Guys are at the shop. I got the snowblower unloaded. It's an Ariens. I believe it's a 1961 model. Thing's been around the funeral home for a long time, and they usually just do like the city sidewalks and stuff. And it's got the crank on it to crank the chute however you want it. It needs a little bit of lube. This thing's been sitting out. You can see I got the spark plug out of it, and the complaint is it won't run. So my guess is fuel system, but this is an old enough machine, it's probably not solid state ignition. So I'm going to check. I've just got the plug sitting here on the plug wrench that I've got, and move the throttle lever off the stop. And give it just a light pull, making sure not to touch anything metal with your hands on here because you'll get the shit knocked out of you. This is, you should probably use a spark plug tester, but this is the old method. Just watch for a spark down in there, and we'll see if we got sparky. I don't know if the camera will even pick it up. We'll try and give it a massive zoom in here. We can get some focus mocus here. Yeah, that's all the zoom we got. So we got spark. I don't know that you can or can't see that, but a little blue spark in there, so we're good. Next thing I'm going to do is I can smell the gas and it's old. So I'm going to pull the shroud. First I'm going to install the spark plug here, finger tight, get it out of my way so that I don't drop it on the floor and break it, because I don't have a spare right now. There we go. Yeah, I'll tighten it up. This is overkill, it's a half-inch drive, but we'll choke up on the wrench a little bit. These don't need to be stupid tight. I'm happy with that. That's tighter than it was. The old spark plug booty back on there. Now there's actually there's two screws in the front of this shroud, which I already started to pull off while I was waiting for it to warm up in here. And then I'm not 100% sure that this primer apparatus needs to come off, but I think these screws go into the end of the carburetor here, because it doesn't appear to be attached anywhere else. So the primer's all bent to shit. It's going to be interesting getting that screw out. There's probably a way to release that button off of there, but I'm not a snow thrower mechanic, so I don't know how exactly that works. Yeah, that's going to come right off. Okay. We'll work on that in a minute here. And I think after I get this shroud out of the way, we'll be able to find the numbers on the side of the fan shroud. What's going on here? You have to get that primer button off. I'm not sure how it comes off, so we're going to check it out here. I would assume you probably, it doesn't just pull off of there. I'll go get a pick or something. There's probably a tab in the back of it that locks down there. PP oil on there. I really don't see how that could possibly hook on there. Might have to do some exploratory surgery here. Yeah, I'll bring you guys back in a minute. I don't exactly know how that comes apart. I've never had one of these Tecumseh apart that has that primer bowl on it. So I'll bring you back in a couple of minutes when I get that deciphered. I figured out how to take that primer button off and understand how it works now. I don't ever remember having to use it, but basically this little plate sits over the throat of the carb and this just threads onto it and you hold it in. There maybe used to be a spring behind it, I'm assuming at some point in its lifetime, to keep it from sucking closed. I'm going to look that up and make sure that that's not the case. I'm sure that has nothing to do with why it's not starting. I've already loosened up the fuel bowl to look inside of it here, pull the main jet out. And here's your story. All the shit in the fuel bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back on lightly, and I'm going to go ahead and take this carb off and clean it. I don't want to really try and clean it on the machine. I probably could. Yeah, I could probably try that first. Why not? Let's try that first, because it doesn't look like an easy one. Let's see if we can do a quick and easy fix on this. So here's the main jet. I'll move over to our work table here. I'll see if I can show you guys a cheater way to do this. If you're in a pinch and got to get something done, I'm going to grab another pair of rubber gloves and some brake cleaner. So basically, the couple things we're going to look for, if you watch the Toro snowblower repair, it's going to be similar. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this main jet out of its holder and make sure that any passages there are clear. I may still have to pull that carburetor, but we're going to start here. She definitely got some shitty fuel on her. This thing has been leaking, or has it leaked at some point? They said they just had it tuned up, and I guarantee they didn't do anything to it. There's spring out there. Now there is a little O-ring in there. But what we need to look at, and I don't know if the camera's going to let us look at it, but I can already see it's fucking plugged. Right there, just past the tip of my fingers, there's an orifice, and I'm sure that's plugged. So I'll grab a little piece of wire and run through that. I'm quite confident that is the problem, but I could be wrong. Piece of scrap wire laying here from that last one. There's some mechanics wire here, but that looks way too big. I'll bring you back in a minute when I get a piece of wire to run through that. Alright, I got a little piece of wire here that I've sort of twisted up as a piece of shielding wire, stainless steel wire. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to run it through that little hole. I can keep it twisted together. Now there's a hole there, and you're never going to be able to probably see this hole. So I'm going to try and point to it here. Right at the top of the tip of that wire, there's actually another hole. When you've got it in front of you, you can see it. And it's not very big. It's right at the top of those threads. And that one was plugged solid. I had to force that wire into that hole. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to plug this end off, and I'm going to blow through this end and make sure I get air out of those holes. You can hear the air rushing out of there. Now I'm going to plug the bigger hole if I can and try and get air to only come through the small hole. And last but not least, I'm going to definitely hold my finger over this, and I'm actually going to take the blowgun in there because I don't want to lose that rubber seal at the bottom of that jet. I may need to replace it. It may leak like a sieve. But we won't know till we try, so. So plug the bottom with your finger and blow air in through the top. If you want to take that seal out, cup your hand over the bottom and lightly blow it out. That should be pretty good. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in through the top of this. I see some crap in there that could cause problems later. I'm going to wad up a piece of Scotch-Brite. I'm going to clean up inside that because I don't trust it to not break off later and cause a problem. I've just got an old piece of gray Scotch-Brite here, and we're going to take it and twist it up so it'll hopefully fit in there. Now you could probably put this on the end of a small punch and push it in there. And I'm just twisting it around in there. That looks pretty good. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just blow a little bit of carb cleaner, well, brake cleaner here, through that. Had a little cup somewhere. Let's do a bit of that so we can. So that's all we're going to do for that. We're going to set that aside on my glove that's over there. I'm also going to take the Scotch-Brite and I'm going to clean up that needle because it's gross. And we may find out I may have to go get a kit for this thing. Wow, this thing is gummy. Yeah, I think that seal in the bottom of there is leaking because it's probably leaking gas out of this thing because that's all varnished up real bad. Now you probably don't want to use sandpaper for this because this is brass, and if you distort it, you got potential for it not to run right. Okay, now the spring that goes in the bottom of there, I'm not really going to do a whole lot with it. I'll blow it off, blow the crusties off of it. And I'm going to go ahead and thread it back into that jet. And I'm going to seat it till it's lightly set there. And I'm going to back it off just a little bit until I put it in the machine, because I want it to seat in the emulsion tube, I believe. I don't know if it'll go all the way up into there or not. It doesn't look like it goes that far, but there we go, that's going. There, that's stopped. Okay. I'll back it out just a little bit. Give it another little squirt here. And that's that. And I clean out this fuel bowl. Just squirt it a little bit there. And then I'm going to take my Scotch-Brite. Clean that sealing surface off. And you can see there's a big wad down there. That round plunger, that's a bowl drain to let water and stuff out if you depress it up. See, it comes up like that. You want to make sure there's no crap stuck under that or it'll leak. Definitely some crap stuck next to it there. I'm just going to take my flat blade screwdriver and sort of scrape that off. Looks like just old varnished gas. That looks pretty clean there. Okay, we're going to call that happy. Now, we're going to go into the carburetor here with the blowgun. And I'm going to blow up through the emulsion tube here. I don't think I have enough light in here to really show you, but I just want to make sure that's clear. Before I put the bowl back on, I will open up the fuel and let some fuel run down into my little cup here to make sure there's no garbage in there. Now, we're not going to blow with 125 psi shop air, but we're going to blow through there pretty decent, and I'll squirt some brake clean up through that tube. Seems to be clean. We'll go ahead and hit that. A little brake cleaner there. We'll give it one more little blow. Watching to not get this in our eyes. All right. Again, this is kind of my cheater method because I don't feel like taking that carb off. Kind of a pain in the ass. Now I'm going to put this cup underneath here to try and catch any fuel that comes in. I'm going to turn my fuel on. I can find it. Alright, we let a little bit of clear fuel run through there. Here's the bowl gasket. I'll go ahead and put that back on the base of the carburetor. And I think I described this in the last video. Let's see if we got... Yeah, you guys can see the float hanging down there. It's on the right side of the carburetor almost. And here's your float bowl. It's got the step on it. The lower side goes away from the hinge side of the float. So the short side there goes toward the hinge of the float. This could be a little bit tricky trying to put it on the machine, but I've done it before, so. And we may have to put it in the bowl itself. I don't like doing it this way, but you can tuck it in there like that if you're careful. Sometimes they'll go on without rolling up. If I could get it to stay up there, I wanted to get it up on there and see what was what, but that didn't work that easily. Somebody's pinched this damn bowl before, but that gasket looks like it's in real nice shape. Okay, make sure you guys are still in the picture here. I keep forgetting to make sure I have that exactly where I want it. They didn't have it back on there right last time, completely. Wasn't that far off, but. You can rotate the bowl a little bit here and there. Yeah, somebody grabbed that fucking float bowl with pliers last time. Nice. Of course, that's not going to sit there, and I forgot the gasket for the for the needle for that main jet. Got to put that little guy right there back on to the needle before you put that all together. Now, somebody did put an inline fuel filter in this, which is a nice idea. Alrighty. Having a little trouble getting that needle started there. There it went. It'll probably leak like a son of a bitch because I didn't change that everything, but we'll find that out here in a minute. Should be good and snug. Now I'm going to go ahead and screw that main mixture needle in the bottom that we just put in there and lightly seat it, and I'm going to open it 2 full turns and we'll see if this thing will start. And we'll open it 2 and a half. See where that goes. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the fuel on and make sure this thing's not going to be puking fuel all over the place, because that won't be fun. This is not an electric start model. Kind of wish it was. That'd make life a little easier. Okay, that fuel is on. And I'm just checking around the bottom there to make sure that it's not leaking, and I can let some fuel out of the bowl by pushing up on this. Make sure that bad boy seats. Make sure there wasn't any crap underneath it. That seems to be okay. Now that's the only easily accessible mixture screw. There is a low end mixture screw on this. We'll see if it idles. The problem is it's behind the muffler and there's no easy way to get to it that I can see. I mean, you could get a pair of pliers in there and wiggle it around, but I can't get the mixture screw out of that without pulling the carb. So we're going to see how it runs first. The complaint was it won't run. So we'll go ahead and give this thing a tug-a-rooney here and see if it'll run. If it does, I'll call it a win and I'll put it back together. Go ahead and give it some full choke action here. Make sure the thing's in neutral. Hope it doesn't run away. Interesting. Looks like I got a little more work to do to it here. It's sticking in gear. So it fired right up though. So we'll call that a win and I'll put this back together. I'll bring you back if I find some more. See ya.